If you have any thoughts,
All right, all yours.
I'd like to call this special meeting of the Columbia Board of Selectmen to order. And this is a budget workshop Tuesday, February 27th at 7 p.m. Hybrid meeting so the public can attend here or electronically. Also, as rules of always, all the staff is here, so that's fine. If anybody wants to talk, who's in the public, or in the chat room, please raise your hand or wave or make a sign and we'll see if we can get you on. Next, please rise and join me to the president for the allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. What we got? New business, the budget.
All right, on the new business. So we now have revenues. And the net effect right now is down 21,000. Mainly due to LOSIP, and we need to talk about LOSIP. We have options. We were planning to use the LOSIP. We have 155,000 in LOSIP and pay off, use it towards the maintenance garage we built out at Rec Park. We could hold LOSIP for next year and use it for engineering for all these culvert projects. It's the challenge is when you use it. Right now, it's revenue that we have, but we're not using it to help us towards revenue. So what is the net effect of using it in which budget year to help us reduce the mill rate impact?
So for this year, I haven't done a projection for this year yet. So right now, I think we're pretty much close to budget, or a little above budget on collection. So what it's gonna mean is that in that line, there'll be $155,000 loss or negative. If we move it to next year, that just means it's 155,000 more in revenue. That if we apply it for the, I have to confirm it with the state, that we could probably seek reimbursement for the engineering fees that we're trying to get for all the culverts right now. Be applied to those culverts.
To the 250,000 we pulled out of general fund, so we could reimburse general fund.
So this would give you about 200,000 instead of like 57,000.
Because we get 40 to 50,000 a year.
Actually, this is a higher allotment, so.
so this is just money back.
We get it every year and we
It's-
save
it's
it
an
for a project.
entitlement. They give it all towns every year. You can carry it forward, you don't lose it. Except you have 5 years to go back, to prior year projects to apply it to.
So it's for projects like, for the
It's a
road
cap,
stuff?
it has to be a capital project. It can be road resurfacing. I looked in some of the regs. I'm gonna confirm it with the state to make sure that it does cover engineering and design fees. So it could be for roads, possibly bridges and culverts. We can, we have the maintenance garage, we have the hazardous tree removal it can be used for, so. But it has to be a capital project, not something, we have to make sure it's budgeted, that the board is not gonna
Yeah,
approve
it
the
sounds
project.
like it's a good idea to use it for the engineering.
So, right now, I'm not foreseeing we need it, but I have to look more closely at the numbers. Just so that, and then there's another, just so you know, there's a yellow highlighted special ed grant. I have to confirm with Barb, we may reduce that number. Because, depending on if there's excess cost kids that are eligible next year. Cause, last year they gave us extra, did an audit and said there weren't enough kids, so they took it out of the ECS grant for this year, so there's gonna be a little less, so they do penalize the town if they feel they reimburse too much, so I'm trying to look at that and maybe a little more conservative on it, but the LOSIP is the one that I need to know. Do you want me to move it to next year or wait and see if I get more information by next week?
Now, when you say next year, you're meaning the 24-25
Yes.
budget year starting July 1.
So we anticipate a surplus that amount or more, is that?
It's not a surplus in that line.
No, but what I'm saying overall, you're showing potential surplus elsewhere where we'll be able to cover.
Well, I'm looking at the property tax collections, because that's usually
Right.
where we get it.
Yeah.
So it's just making sure, because we did move the collection rate up to 98% versus 97.5, so what we usually get as surplus might be a little smaller.
Okay,
And we may be able to make up some of the other, I'm not using this number based on the other lines in the budget for revenue, so. I'm looking at like possibly, right now, the ECS grant is coming in higher because the state restored back to what it originally budgeted, to 2.3 million for this year, so there's gonna be some extra funds in that we're getting in. We did get $161,000 from municipal revenue share, which can replace the not using the LoSiP. Because we didn't budget for the disabled personal tax credit, the veterans tax credit, and the municipal revenue sharing, because last year the state said, oh, we're not giving that to you again this year. Well, they did. So that could actually replace what we have as a revenue versus not using, just replace LoSiP.
So why wouldn't we take the LoSiP money and put it in whether it's in the general, or excuse me, back into the capital? Are we just not sure we can do that? For the
can't.
engineering?
You can't, well, here's the thing is, it has to be a reimbursement to the town. So we have to, we're showing it as revenue to the general fund because we're getting reimbursed for either the prior year capital project that's been completed.
So it has to be already expensed.
It has to be a full
Project
capital
complete.
project done, completed, and paid by the town. So the way it is if you do get the money next year, we do wait and get the money back for the engineering fees, that money will go back into the general fund, but then you'd have to reallocate it. Your town meeting back to capital. That's all. It's just trying to cross your T's, dot your I's, keep track of all.
But if you pay for the maintenance garage, you're done.
It's done,
You pay for it. It's a
Mhm.
covered expense. It helps you.
So when you have the numbers here, so 22, 23, it's 117,000, 23, 24, 155. Is that a running total, and then you use 100 and
Yes.
100?
So last year in 22-23, we had a combined accumulated allotment of $117,000. So it was decided to not seek reimbursement and let it build into this year.
So right now, as it sits, we have 155,000.
Yes,
And then you're proposing we use that money.
move it to next year and use it for when the engineering costs get paid for.
Okay, we're not worried about 5-year money dropping off on the back.
Well, there's not a lot, right now, the only thing I can see is going back for hazardous material, we can do road resurfacing. Or we can do the maintenance garage, those are the completed projects that we could probably right now, to reimbursement, so
What about the public? No, we pay for the public works building out of ARPA,
we can't use.
so we can't
anything.
use that.
Double.
It can't double.
Where are you ever paying for culvert?
Hunt Road Culvert, that's got some steep grant and the town has budgeted money already in there to cover everything.
So we've been saving that up for that 5 years.
I believe we've got enough in there to cover the whole thing.
So Bev, why don't you just. So we're leaning toward pushing it over to next year. We're looking at this and Monday or next week, we're gonna finalize this.
Yeah, you'll vote on it.
To send it to. Okay, if you see something different, let us know. I mean, I get it.
Okay, I'll just put a. Let's go through the vote then. Do you want me to reflect it in next year?
Well, that's the way you're kind of.
Yeah, because then we
pointing.
can see it. We can see
Okay.
the outcome of
Alright.
reflecting it.
Okay, so I'll move it over and then, yeah, I'll follow up on the special ed grant. I think everything else is pretty close, but I'm gonna review it again just to make sure.
Okay, now you can see the upgraded operating. Bev, is the library reflecting the?
Okay, well,
No.
before you go, on revenues and stuff, so the current property, we're down about $76,000.
Where are you, Stephen?
Oh, the
No,
debt,
The
no,
whole
no,
says taxes, current property, that whole total tax line. We're down,
No, that's not a completed, that's as of
as of today?
February 20th, the last time the projects were posted, we're at 58. Last year, that 15,072,000 is the total collections for last year. So there's probably more money coming in for the next couple months.
Right, that's what I'm saying, whatever deficit we're showing, we still have time to collect,
Yes,
and we usually do collect.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. God, everything's down, pistol permits,
There's still time.
Quarter
We still got a whole
fees,
quarter basically to put money in, so
what's that?
there's still time. I mean, you still got 3-4 months of revenue to collect, so these numbers are gonna definitely be changing over the next couple. So as the budget goes through FIPAC, I'll be updating the numbers as it goes, so.
Okay.
mm.
We could boost interest a little more.
Mhm.
That's pretty conservative right now.
What, 12,000?
Yeah, because we planned on 35,000. Actual in 22-23 was 80.
Yeah, I can actually bring it up to 50 if you want, like 50,000 to project out what we're gonna get for the rest of the year and. I
Interest
can
rates
probably
aren't
boost it.
tanking or anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't wanna,
We're basically
I
at
want
4 or 5.
realistic kind of numbers in there, so.
We're basically at 4 or 5%, so
Right.
I could boost it up.
I would. I'd go to at least 50.
Preschool, I might boost up a little too. If they're increasing the rates.
Will there be a boost?
Transfer station fee.
That's what I was gonna ask, are we gonna change the transportation fees again?
Oh, yeah, you want to go up on
Yeah,
our
so
sticker?
let's talk about it. We bring in, well, last year we brought in transfer station fees, 24,000.
Yep.
In 22-23,
Mhm.
and probably, and we had already gone up in our fees that year, right?
I think we left the fees same as the transfer station stickers that we went up to. What is it?
Right, the fees weren't changed. The stickers went to
50?
50 and the senior stayed at 20.
Yeah.
And a lot more people have dumped Casella because the rates went up so much. That I think more people might start coming to the transfer station.
Well, they are definitely coming, it's just whether they're paying what they're supposed to. And I don't think anybody complained about the increase in stickers.
I didn't hear one
No,
complaint.
I didn't see anything on Facebook, and that's what I.
It's still a bargain.
I think
I mean, you could go to 60-30.
Think
It's
if
a
you want,
bargain.
that's what I was gonna say, you wanna try $60?
How much?
Well, you're almost done with the year, you only collected.
So the
No,
stickers
no,
really,
May 31st is the next.
It'll
day.
come booming in May.
so the big sales is-
Got it,
starts in
so
May,
back, oh, that can do it at the end of the,
May and June, yeah.
got it.
Well, our
So we
costs
pay
just
for it
went up.
one way or the other.
Our Casella cost just went up
Yeah,
considerably.
We pay for it in the taxes that are, you know, hauling fees and everything, or we never make it with the transfer station. The transfer station
It's
does not
still a
pay for
loss.
itself. It's a huge loss to us. The question is, if more people are using it, we're gonna incur more hauling fees and stuff.
More hauling, more bulk, more weight.
$60 for a year. It's not even
It's
close.
nothing.
And the fact that we hold half to seniors over the age of 62, is 60 or 62? 62. You know, most of the people in town are 62 and above.
I think it should be 60,
So we
60,
take
30.
them to 25.
No, I'd go to 30 and then if
30.
it's a hard
30,
case, they could
60,
come
30,
for a discount.
60, 30.
60.
yeah, I think that's. fine.
You have to, you know, just.
'Cause if you-
Explain it to.
You know, can I tell you, we were at a meeting 2 weeks ago and the state was pushing pay as you throw bags again.
We got plenty of bags.
I have no problem.
But those were the worst bags.
They were kind of,
You didn't have a double bag just to put the garbage in. It was a waste.
Yeah.
yeah,
that
it was, yeah,
I'd
you had to
rather
be
pay
careful.
more for the fees and not waste, plastic.
I would hate bags.
I'm just saying.
So totally agree with you.
We'd have,
I'm asking,
We'd have to
phone
rent-
rings, and when you're at the transfer station, as a member of the board, they go, come on, this is ridiculous, say. The state wanted us to go to pay as you throw. People will go, thank you so much for charging me 60. I like the 60/30.
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Anybody
think
else?
that's fine.
Okay, the other one would be, beach fees,
The what?
the
Beach
beach
fees.
passes. I don't remember what they are.
Who's pushing pay as you throw in the state?
deep,
Why would they care?
Because
it works.
involved in
Yeah.
You're involved in, we don't keep anything here, it all goes to Pennsylvania.
It's burned.
Oh,
It's
that's,
crazy.
Well, there's no market for recyclables now, so we don't get paid for it except for cardboard and metal, cardboard and metal.
You know,
Revenue.
not pull out your cans, that they stopped the separation, just,
That was bad.
that was the worst thing they ever did. People were so easy, they just took a different bag for you.
okay, beach fees. I'm gonna keep us on track, I'm sorry. we're gonna get on that. Beach fees, I don't even know what they are.
5 to 17, these are residents, 5 to 17, $25, 18 to 61, 35. Age 62 and older is 15. Transferable guest passes are 45. And there's a maximum family of 120.
I think the disadvantage of if you start raising them is everyone will start coming as soon as the lifeguards go home. It'll be
They do that.
I wouldn't touch it.
Even 125 is right where they want it.
Yeah, I think they're good.
Complain about that, they think they raise too much, I don't think they pay too much, but people do complain,
All right, we'll just leave them.
you know.
Leave it.
Facility rental. Well, that's, what do we get for the pavilion? The 100 for the Lions and 150 for the new one?
Something like that, yeah.
Let's start working with the little, when the little leagues do fundraisers and stuff, do they pay us anything?
It's a civic organization.
I don't think
It's a civic organization or private, not a,
We only charge private.
sports organization.
Or parties, if people have parties.
That's private. Private parties they pay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not making any money there, so leave it. Anything else on here we need to go over?
No,
How many kids are in preschool students, and what are we like competitive?
I think so. I think actually next year they're raising it again because they've been watching the market, but I can't remember what it is, but.
Who's raising
We
it?
shouldn't be
Board of Ed.
undercutting.
No, they're not.
We get the money, but they handle the fees?
But the panic.
They collect it and give it to the town, but it's kind of like considered part of their appropriation. We give the money. to them, so,
Now give
Pastor.
it back to them, no.
sorry, anyway, yeah.
No. It shows up in the.
we on to
Yeah.
town expenses.
Yeah.
Is the library baked into this now?
No, because we need to talk to them about it.
Okay, so there's a letter. Remember you'd asked about the library? So they gave me a memo and stated that they took into fact that the discount on the medical. And they're going to spend on supplies with this year's money. And they're willing to cut the budget $12,500.
Which will make it less than what they're getting this year.
Oh, wow, really?
So it'll be a total of a 0.5% decrease. What's their total number they want now?
You said 460.
464? So the revised request is 464,366.
But What, did you get the next paragraph?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, they said, but next year, we're going to assume that the increase of 12 grand was there. And we're gonna add another
Whatever we need.
percentage on top of what we need, so you're gonna be paying, basically, we're gonna be paying double next year. Let's worry about it.
Yeah, we'll worry about next year,
Well, but they had leftover money, so they're buying supplies for the year ahead of time, and the insurance cost went down. So how do they think that they were owed that money? I don't know, we'll deal with it next year. I think. Yeah, that's fine.
It's kind of like Public Works buying salt when we don't have a bad winter. Um,
You wanna do salaries first? Cause,
no, that's executive session. Is there anything else you want to go over on the budget?
oh,
Yeah, let's get everything for, that we need Jen for. Before we go.
okay, minus. Information down. Town maintenance facility, down.
You will see Board of Ed number, these are last week's numbers, so don't go by that. They didn't vote on the budget yet, so it's not reflected in here.
Yeah.
That was reflected, so that's just put in there just to fill in the bottom.
What is assessed?
So you see a large increase for registrar of voters, we talked about that with early voting, assessment. What's up, we have
The professional tech line. is-
professional tech line. What is that, new software or something?
That's Novus.
No, that's. They said assessor, the assessor.
Oh, under assessor, she had to buy, the GPS is no longer free,
Right,
so she has to pay for it now. Cause
okay.
the gentleman working for Krog went to another company.
Town clerk. All these increases are without salary. so.
Right.
On the fire prevention services, any less than 5,000, what's that?
They was that the tools, Bev, that they bought out of- for
Prevention.
fire prevention instead of the budget? Well, M&E is maintenance and equipment, and I think the equipment side of it, they had stated that originally,
He wanted to buy some equipment, but I don't. think it's in the folder there. Did you talk, I think you're gonna follow. up with
well,
them.
what they did was buy the equipment out of this year's budget.
They haven't spent anything.
Why isn't this projected for police? Why is it at 165?
Came down a little bit.
Oh, I got an email, it says it's 180.
That was 100%, not the 85%.
You're staying at 85%?
I believe so. that's
Yeah,
right.
now they're actually covering overtime and benefits at 85 too. They used to hit us for 100 for those. So that's good.
Mm. I don't have any details up there, 6,500. So,
So the problem is, and waste disposal. They're the biggest.
Yeah, so waste is due to the new contract.
Public Works is for the additional person we're
maintainers,
bringing on.
maintainers in there.
Which will probably save us some money in doing all the work. The culvert.
That's the plan.
That's the hope.
Yeah, waste disposal. is in. General supplies on building inspections and facilities. Up 13%.
Where are you, Steve?
Department 530, page 12 of 31.
Oh, that's for new regulatory books.
General supplies, building inspection and
Yeah,
facilities.
they have to buy a whole new set of regulation manuals.
And that online,
No. Well, it might be, but I think,
But if you're not, if it's online, you probably have to pay a subscription. So the fire marshals they put as a description is protective equipment. For next year, $6,500, which doesn't detail what it is.
I didn't meet with Mike, so I could look into that before next week. Yeah, but usually he's really frugal. He must need something. I'll ask him.
use. Public celebrations.
I assumed you're keeping the Lions Club at 6,000.
They did not come to me for any more.
No, they haven't mentioned to me, Lions.
Lake management, 10,900 more.
That's for testing
Yes,
for the,
for that,
Is that the wastewater?
Yeah,
That was also to try to bring the contracts and stuff in alignment with the budget. Because
They
the
were-
budget the contract overlaps fiscal years, that's why there was a transfer done. Because we
Okay.
didn't have enough in there,
okay,
plus I think there was some additional testing they wanted to do.
okay.
so they're asking the vendor to hold invoices till July 1, but then that gets our accounting off. So it doesn't help us.
No, so, yeah, we're still going to last year.
we're okay with beach services and rec operations. Have we had input? Is Deb left? Did she give?
Yeah, so I sat down Deb before she left. We
I
went
think
over.
he basically said keep things the same.
She said, basically, keep it all same. The budget was good. The only changes will be hourly rates of the employees.
So they're gonna be impacting marine patrol now that you're looking for a new rec director and all that.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in today in executive session.
Okay.
Yeah. Zeta Farm, if they ask for a brush hog or something? Do we have one alone?
No, I think if they always hope that we'll run around the edge of the fields with our mower. But these last 3 years, it's been so wet, we've had trouble
Couldn't do it.
getting on the fields. Because you have to go through a wetlands on Zagda to get into the
Was
back.
that gentleman last year who looked to buy, had that proposal with the hay?
He did it.
He did
Get
it?
it
Yeah.
right.
I don't know.
Might have been too wet.
Yeah.
I think in the early season, everybody got at least the first cutting. I don't know if anybody got a second cutting.
I talked to Rana, they barely got through 2 cuttings. I don't even think they got through 2 cuttings on most of
Last
the
summer
farms.
was.
Yeah, I think everybody got a great first cutting.
We had so much rain, first of all,
Yeah.
but then they need at least 3 days consecutive
Of sun.
Of sunshine, not just dry.
Right.
And
need
they,
something.
And they had a tough time.
Last year was awful. Hopefully it'll be better this summer, but it was awful for cutting hay.
Not-
everybody.
Not like the solar flares we just had. Just use everything. We have one.
So nobody else sees anything on there? Nobody else sees anything on there?
The public works.
What about, yeah, it's on page, it's on that,
10.
yeah. 410 on page 10.
Yeah. So I know we're talking salary executive session, but that already has an upper.
That has it there because we added a position.
Got
Took away 2 temps and added a full time. That's why that's it.
it. Okay.
Anything else? What else we have to go through on this? Capital?
Capital, yes. So in your binders, we have a couple of the printouts have been revised based upon our different meetings. You dig in there a little ways. So let me just see what was revised.
The road resurfacing, 23-24.
So we've got the double day road drainage engineering in there, and then this rubberized chip and seal that we had the previous year. It was too wet last year to try it. We're gonna hope for dry period this spring to try
We
it.
talked about that, and Beth said they still had the whole spring to be able to use that.
Right.
Okay, so it's not, so this is not from last year, this is,
This budget we're in, right there, the summer was too wet.
I understand that, but they still hope to use that $125,000 this spring. This 100,000 does not reflect that money.
Right,
This is brand new money.
I was pointing to 23-24. We had,
So, I am too. What you stated was that's, that rubberized chip seal, 100,000 from last year, we weren't able to do. That's not from last year.
this
about last summer?
100,000 from 23-24 summer was not spent yet.
Yeah,
We're saying the same thing,
There's
just,
$104,000.
right, we haven't spent.
Okay,
And then she has another 100 in 24-25.
okay, that's right, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay,
Right,
so is this new here, engineering and double day drainage?
new, well, it was in last week. But it was put in February 5th.
And she took out some, she must have took out pagans or something because. we
She
never-
does not have any paving in 24-25.
Okay. Is that what the beta group will help us plan out?
Correct.
Okay. We'll just say there's a 200,000 after.
And in theory, the rubberized chip seal will help us extend some of our roads' life.
You're going to the next thing?
Yeah, so I'm at culvert replacement repair right now.
You're what?
There's nothing to do on Hennepin Road.
Okay,
Culvert replacement.
yep.
So the original 200,000 we had in there for engineering. Bev, correct me, but we moved that to cover a shortfall.
The money that was put in this year, yeah, was used for what we found was a little shortfall on the Hop River project. So we did the town meeting to put the money back in that was supposed to be for culvert replacement.
I thought the Hop River project went totally federal funding and
And
we
we-
weren't gonna be nailed for that.
Right, so we moved the Hop River into here to fund the 200. But then we needed the 200, didn't we, for the Hunt Road?
Right. Because what wasn't out.
Hunt Road,
Okay,
went over
yeah.
budget.
Well, Hunt Road, yes, because we had appropriated over time, like 300,000, and we took the 200,000.
To get up to
from
the
there,
550,
moved to the 100.
right?
Yeah. it's the
We
hot
should
road.
write this down.
Hot road,
Well, we
yeah.
have it here, but it's not quite right.
Okay,
We gotta fix it again to make sure it reflects it accurately. So then we all of a sudden needed more engineering, so we had correctly budgeted. But then, once we had the epic rainfalls of 4 inches at a time, we then voted from general fund to put 250 back into this.
so we're not asking for any 24, 25, any money to go into culvert replacement, repair, or engineering.
Right, but you can see the original estimates of the next 2 budget years are quite high for engineering, but we're thinking of putting the whole thing out to bid and see if a smaller, hungrier engineering firm might want to grab 6 culverts and a
Okay,
double-day
So
road.
next year, we're not gonna be doing any culvert repair. It sounds like we.
No, this engineering,
This
we,
is something-
We're just not, we're not putting engineering money aside.
Originally, there was $250,000 in it, but until they go out to bid and they don't need to put it in for next year.
we're not sure what we need yet till we actually do a real bid. So that's why that wrote up, remember, Phil, you asked for a write-up on how did we get to where we are? So stapled, sitting it
Yeah.
in there is a summary of the 6 worst culverts in town. And then we should probably do another summary write-up on Doubleday, so everything
So.
can go out in a
we'll-
package.
So we will, if we need it, then we'll have to just go to the town meeting.
Exactly.
As opposed to putting it in the budget, because we don't know what we need.
Yeah.
Right, I'd have trouble standing up front of a town meeting explaining our game plan, because we're still trying to develop it.
Yeah,
You know,
if you don't know the cost, you don't know what that's for. I just don't. I want.
And the costs are so staggering. We're hoping we can do some ourselves. We're hoping that I'm gonna sit through a meeting for grants from the, what was that?
Well, wouldn't you be better off putting something in there, because I turn around and hate to have another town meeting, they say, well, you know, you've identified these problems.
And you put nothing
And you
away.
put nothing in, it. So obviously,
yeah, because you go back to the road resurfacing, and we're down basically 180,000 from last year's budget. Right,
Project should still.
434 down to 249,
I thought it just.
180,000.
Yeah,
I think the capital came down because she still has some projects that have already been funded.
Okay, but what Chris is saying, and I kind of agree with, we've always put some money aside. And if there's already 180,000
Forecasted of need.
forecast decrease in that, if we take 100,000 of it and start putting it into this, back into this, culvert repair engineering or something for 24, 25, we keep things going.
okay, so
Is that what you mean, Chris?
Right,
now how are we gonna develop a plan? It'll be get engineers in there. We do need a plan, I agree with that. But so we get engineers in there to tell us what we need and then get some people to do some bidding. And or decide if we can do it ourselves.
right. I want to put it out to bid with
So we need to-
defined projects that we want an engineering quote on. And I'm hoping, right now, we were with a small engineering firm called Anchor. They got bought out by Barton, Luigi's. And now they're a big engineering firm, and I think our costs are reflecting that.
Mhm.
So we interviewed some locals and they were interested, but then they haven't followed up. So we're gonna try again with a formalized, here's what I want you to bid on, not just,
Do we do as we did for the AC situation? Do we form a committee, a road committee?
I think
Just
it's
to
a
deal
good
with
idea.
it.
It's too big.
You had said it last
Yeah,
week,
it's too big. I'm thinking.
and I think that's,
Well, I have, Mike Curtis, you know
Yeah.
Mike Curtis?
you should get a read.
He reached out to me and he said, hey, Steven, there's some drainage problems around. And I'd love to, kind of
as
help
a
out.
volunteer on a subcommittee.
Yeah, that's the way he put it was, I want to volunteer and kind of talk about this and see what we can do. Now, when I saw him at the transfer station, he said to me, I said, I'm gonna give you a call this week. He said, great. I was kind of thinking about the drainage at Rec Park and everything, because it affects him. It comes down from Rec Park, barrels into the street, and it goes across the street, runs in a couple people from over there. But I said to him, you know, there's a lot of issues that are in town. I'd love to get just a, you know, an expert's glance at, yeah, that might work type of thing,
It's an engineer.
you know, so, you know what? If we all kicked in a little bit of our expertise here and there, it would go a long way in keeping the town pretty.
David Geisler might be good on that as well.
Yeah, I mean.
He would be, yeah.
You know.
We're gonna put him on
so-
HVAC and this?
Well,
You get him, Chris, that'd be great. Guy is good, I like working with.
He's not a construction project, that's what he does.
Right,
Not HVAC, he's more on construction. I mean, this is great, I appreciate this, you know, and I think coming up with a plan, but I mean, to me, I think it's obvious, and you've got a lot of these, you know, along the same pathway, so you can't have Chesbro Bridge, you know, down when you have all these people being rerouted between Hunt and Chesbro and Pine Street, double day, I mean, you'll try to tackle obviously those within that timeframe, you're.
right.
A lot of people aren't gonna be able to escape to their houses and leave, so. it's-
Plus, we had to review
obviously,
that
that's
company that
important
wants to meet with us.
From a location as
Finding
well as
grant money.
funding.
Yeah, we met a company at the meeting 2 weeks ago. And their sole purpose was to find grants, find money. And I said, well, how do you get paid? Well, we get paid out of the grant. We don't find you a grant, we get nothing. They seemed very reputable, so I think we're gonna invite them in and take a shot.
And
Whatever they
well-
get us, they get us.
CCM also sent us a similar company that they're recommending, so we could look at both of them and decide which one we
So,
like better.
yeah, if CCM recommends somebody and they get 3%, and this company gets, 3.7%.
Well, this company is recommended by cost. That was
Yeah,
the CCM competition for small towns.
Yeah, I'm all about getting some of our dollars back through grants.
Oh, I think that's a great idea. So, I mean, I'm thinking we should have a committee, such a big project.
Well, do you want funds in that line item knowing we have a giant culvert not looming?
I do.
Yeah,
So put 100,000, pencil in 100,000.
Okay,
I mean, we're doing it for capital stuff like the fire department equipment and stuff, So. I too, do not like going in front of the town saying, hey, we saw this, but we thought we'd get lucky, but now we need $250,000.
and today is 2/27.
Yep.
So I guess the other question is, why are we putting any money into preliminary cost and design estimates? The next,
Or not next year, there's none going.
We have none going in next year. We normally put 10, but we've been focusing mostly on culverts.
okay, recreation area improvement, we haven't done anything, nope, nothing's planned.
Nope.
Reval, it's on my side. DPW,
What's that?
we authorized them to go out with appeal for the third liner,
Yes,
and the other stuff is just stuff we have to preventive maintenance, staying ahead of things. So 274 there. Okay, any questions on that? Transfer. We haven't allocated anything for this, but I think we need to go down there and take a look. at
well,
it.
you know what was good? He's a resident, that you met him last week, Mark Morgan, who explained, he works for Casella.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
said he'd be happy to walk through the transfer station and give us some
Give us
thoughts,
some layout. and
because he
stuff.
uses the transfer station as a resident.
Right,
And he goes to all the transfer stations around the state that they handle.
and he finds it a little. I think it's something like dangerous.
No, he said the transfer station is a well-run transfer station and you're confined to the space you have in flow of traffic. But he said the good thing is your free corner, what do you call it here? Not. it's a
Swap shop?
Swap shop is off and it's not near the recyclables and the MSW transfer, so people don't take up parking spaces while other people are just trying to get in and out of the train station
Mhm.
that are shopping.
Are there collisions there?
Very, very
I
rare.
don't think so.
It
Every-
looks like, yeah. it
Yeah,
looks like-
that's what I mean. It's,
Yeah, backing up is,
I always back into the spills.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most people do,
Yeah.
most.
it is
But-
weird. I could see where there could be accidents the other way. It's,
But everybody knows that it could be an
Yeah.
accident.
Somebody's really good. For
yeah,
the most part.
For the most part.
yeah. I had somebody said to me, why don't they open it up later, like in the, like instead of closing it at what we close it at 4, have it open till 6 to 8. I'm
That's-
thinking it's dark. You can't, I mean, then it would be dangerous in there. in the
Well,
dark.
good lighting.
In the winter time. it would be.
Yeah.
We're not moving the hours.
No, we're not going there. I just thought it was kind of not a great idea, not safe. It's too crazy.
Okay, facilities, capital. I'm just going through, so we're putting aside, $9,000 for new concrete senior walkway. That we're doing,
Right, so we funded this walkway from the door to the right. Going downhill, that's being done as soon as the weather improves this year.
which one?
The sidewalk from the senior center door towards going downhill.
Okay.
Uphill towards
Why
the
don't we
dumpsters
have a,
next.
Sponsor a bag of concrete for the citizens, and anybody wants to buy a bag of concrete, we can do it.
Mhm.
Okay, 9,000.
They could buy a segment, put their name on it.
Yeah, sure. Put the handprint in there, it actually would help with traction. Bridge on Hot River. We're not doing nothing.
Well, we haven't been given any revised estimates because they haven't started construction yet.
Well, I thought that was a full fund from,
It was funded state and federal, but we still had a small shared contribution because we hired an extra engineer to look at something that we, both Coventry and Columbia had to pay
I
for.
think it was something before, there was like, yeah, an extra consultant or something, and then
Yeah.
it wanted some funds in case there was some
So-
property damage.
Right, so it was
so we
my,
didn't run over, I don't know, a corner of the old mill.
well, there is a taking happening of Mr. Ted Newmack's property, because his 1 acre he owns. Because the
Latham Hill,
bridge curves more now.
Latham Hill, nothing. Why does it say, wait, why does it say Latham Hill?
They're paying him for it, though. It's not just a take.
There's 15 grand in there? Latham Hill?
There's 15 in Lake, we haven't, that's another one that should be on our,
I was gonna say,
What-
if we have to replace that culvert, should we?
yeah, it's more
That
than,
bridge,
it's a bridge.
It's the bridge.
Well, first of all, it is.
It's many
Should be between
Us and
Lebanon.
Yeah, so
We
we need to contact Lebanon, but get them partner up with us.
Yeah, this is sitting for many years there. And I
know-
thought it was 15, but I don't think 15 is gonna be enough.
when I asked about that years ago. I was told if there's some way we can dredge it out. Because a lot of silt has filled in the culvert. So there's only really this much flow over the top of all the silt and everything. That's the problem, not that it's disintegrated, it's just that it's full
Well,
of
it's
mud.
also, the whole bridge is too low and the roads are too low, so it tops easily.
Yeah, but if the water ain't flowing under it, because the culvert's.
It's going over.
Going over, right, so it's
So
a,
you
it's
gotta,
both.
you gotta, I mean, the first thing to do is clean it and see what it does.
Yeah, I don't know how we do that, put a big,
Some fishies could
Get a
be
bunch
hung.
of kids. And buckets.
That's what they used to do. It works.
All right, but
sponsor a bucket.
I think we need to add Latham Hill to our
Yeah.
evaluation list.
It's not on there.
No, we don't know what to do with it.
So
DPW dam mitigation and repair.
Okay, so we had to go back out the bid. We're rewriting the bid spec as we speak. They've identified that it's not an imminent problem, it's more of a maintenance repair because of the diver we hired to look at the gate. He said it's in, whole thing's in pretty good shape. But the gate does need to be replaced, but it's not. It didn't scare him, which is good. But I still feel better if it was new.
Hmm.
So
So we have to write the bid spec. Beth said she's gonna talk to the owner of the company and ask him why we don't have the bid spec back yet.
but we have 55 grand in there? Do we have any money? in
Yes,
there?
we have 55 in there.
Is that enough? So we don't know.
Well, the last bid came in at 35, but that didn't include
Well,
parts. of-
49,000,
Is that what it was?
49,
There's 44,940 right now.
yeah.
You
we're
put
gonna
another
another
five.
5,000 in there, okay. Okay, hazardous tree removal, 75,000.
Yeah, she's dropping it 25.
Senior center equipment,
We're evaluating that still. I'll get back to you whether we're leaving that in there.
marine patrol equipment. 10 grand,
We don't have a sinking fund for a new police boat, and last year Jerry said, you're having leakage in your Zodiac and you might want to start preparing for a replacement.
It's
Getting old.
It's over 10 years old. It's about 10 years old, so.
That other sheet showed 2030 replacement, you're thinking it'd be replaced sooner than that.
Well, if you follow this, at least if you start funding it with all the repairs they're putting into that
Oh,
boat every year, it's only a matter of time whether we're going to stay.
I might be able to get a
So maybe
used 32-foot boxing whaler with a 50 cal gun on it.
That'd be awesome.
that'd be fun.
They'd be respected.
260s on the side,
You're going back
Take
into
it across
service.
the lake and
twin Volvo, twin Volvo 250s.
An exemption from Marine Patrol.
Just one look at the call. Look how many volunteers we get.
You'd be waiting line.
Oh,
All right, 10 grand. Is that all for that? Did I miss anything?
That's it.
Okay. Next we go to. Are we going to, the fire department or anything?
No, they actually, they're in good shape. They went down in their capital request. So. Is this in their bindings or not? Okay,
last time you didn't have any questions with them.
I'll just tell you what, or I'll make copies of this if you want. The fire department. They had requested for capital 23-24, 321,000. And this year they're requesting 271,000.
Right.
So it's a $50,000 reduction in the request.
They took out like equipment. They didn't need like some of their equipment.
Okay.
They already spent a lot.
And then there's an ambulance on order right now. And then another one won't happen till 25-26, but the ambulance department covers those.
Right,
They finally get that truck.
No, they're specking it out. I don't know, did I sign a PO for that? I don't know. I don't remember.
Yes, I think we did, because remember there was one of Gates, they had the wrong color or something?
No, this is the forestry truck. They got the
You're
turn.
not the command vehicle.
That's the command vehicle. That's all done. The forestry truck is what Kathy Austin came through with
So they, I
two hundred
think
fifty
they put
thousand.
that off a year, because they're trying to. That's because they got that $250,000,
Yeah.
I think they.
They haven't spent that yet.
So I think they're gonna use it towards that.
To a new forestry vehicle. And then they always keep on the horizon that if they don't improve their volunteer recruitment. 25-26 could see the need for a $600,000 expense of hiring ambulance EMTs during the day.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, that's it, huh? Senior center. Senior center equipment, what are they asking for? Oh, that's the 2,000 for hand dryers, well,
Yeah.
we're just looking at that.
I'll go look
Okay.
into that.
All right. Let me just see something. 1,050,000 was 23-24 appropriation, right?
Well, now you're adding what, 100,000 for capital?
Yes,
So we're basically at 105,000. Still down $45,000. Right?
okay, so. Budget appropriation 23-24, right, was 1,050,000,
50,000, and now we're looking for 1,005,000.
right,
Any questions?
All looks good, it's money. All looks fine.
Anything else? Until executive session, we're moving.
I think, Jen, is there anything I'm forgetting?
Yeah,
to cover?
that's the same.
Oh, grants and subsidies?
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
there's no changes.
Oh, I think we already baked in $100 extra for San River watershed.
Yeah, if you go back. If you go back, you'll see. Jen went up $2,100, 22.
Yes,
I mean,
oh, and that changed the library down.
the library actually went down 2,000,
2,000, no, 12,500.
no,
So they're gonna be, yeah, below budget,
Yeah.
about $2,500 once we make the change, yeah.
no, 2,500.
Yep,
So negative 2,500 in the change.
That's what I meant.
unless you wanna just make them flat.
So we're looking at about $2,000 increase total. All right. Oh. I'll figure it out one.
Did
One
it really go up 16,000? Oh,
Now
yeah.
it's gonna go up on the 2,676.
7.
So that's 5.
2675. Yeah. I rounded up to 23 grand, 2675.
That's the increase.
Yep.
Not 16,000. Okay.
Hey, any questions on that? Anybody have any comment on what we're giving to the different ones? Now we're going to executive session.
That, Jen, anything you're forgetting? Because this is just a budget workshop, so everything else waits till next meeting.
Yep, all motions will wait, so we just update and get ready, I'll do next week is vote unless you think of another change that you want to make.
Okay, so at this time, I'm going to suspend the special meeting and
At 7:59.
go into executive session. So I'll invite Mark Walker and Beverly Cirillo to join us.
At 7:59.
Who does that leave? So at this time, we're gonna come out of executive session and resume it.
Came out at 8:39.
8:39 and resume the special meeting of the Board of Selectmen with no action required. We'll ask that the revised budget be brought to us, updated and brought to us next week. And now I move to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye.
When does it have to be?
Opposed?
No. When does it have to be presented to the,
So by charter, they're supposed to get
Oh,
the
here's-
document by the 15th, and so then if IPAC, whatever that, the IPAC meeting, the third Wednesday of the month, it will be the presentation.
Let the record show that.
Okay, wait a minute, let me just turn on.
Comments are part of the meeting.